कोई हंसता नहीं है क्या जोक पे? So the way we thought is, unlike the formal stage, even you are coming from Bharat Mandapam and you're going back there, even I have to go back there. We thought we'll keep it more interactive, keep it more real for the students, and bring the AI Summit to JNU. Some of the JNU students I have been informed have also gone for the programming there. They may interact with you when you go back. Now, if you look at JNU, it has a unique culture. The IQ in this gathering is high, but so is the EQ. From what I can feel and what I know of JNU. If India is to dramatically shift and transform and reform, we need people who think outside the box, who are creative, and who can contribute to the churn, which is what we expect of the caliber of the students of JNU. So, मेरे भी कुछ सवाल हैं. देखो, I feel that education is the one space which always has to be ahead of the curve. We can't lag society. So whatever new is coming, it is both a challenge for us, it is a threat for the status quo, it is a challenge because we have to dramatically adapt to whatever new is coming and fresh in society. And accordingly, then we are able to provide that content and curriculum and training and to the next generation that is in the system. I feel AI is going to impact the education and the skilling space the most. And are we ready? We're not ready yet. Do we understand the impact? I think it's still early days. We are all excited about it. I can tell you, Bharat Mandapam में जिस प्रकार का एक energy, एक vitality दिख रहा है, that is the message we want to give to the world. Everyone knows that in anything, India's scale is important. We are perhaps the world's largest user base of AI, of the platforms, of the products. But we are hoping as a country, as a society, that given the kind of the fact that with this new technology, you may not need capital. If you have a good idea, from idea to market, it will become a lot easier and simpler. And given our young population, given a huge engineer base, huge STEM population, large women workforce who understand STEM compared relatively to other developed economies, I feel that AI, you're going to get a lot of producers, manufacturers, innovators, creators in the days to come. And therefore, this event is about signaling. It is about signaling of our readiness, of our commitment, our capacity to engage. And that is why I don't mind, क्योंकि मैंने कहा ना कुंभ का मेला है वहाँ बहुत सारे casual observers हैं, students हैं, and I'm not sure all of them understand what they're there for yet. But to the outside world, to the global leaders and experts, when they come and they see कि इतने बड़ी आबादी इंडिया की, चाहे वो गांव से आती हो, चाहे वो JNU से जाती हो, या कहीं मुंबई दिल्ली में रहने वाले हों, टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट हों, रिसर्चर हों या किसान हों, they are all ready to use AI. That's a very powerful signal we've sent. But I have my own questions, and it's a great opportunity to ask Professor Ramesh ji. I thought I'll ask you a few of things that I read, and we all read a lot.
I thought I'm the professor.
Yeah, that's why you have to do the answering. Ministers don't like answering questions, you know. बाद में कोई छात्र पूछना चाहे तो of course it's open house. The idea is interaction. आपको दो दिए गए हैं.
And I was just saying that I'm the professor. I'm supposed to ask the questions.
No, students will ask professors. Students will have to ask professor. Consider me a student.
Okay, all right.
So I went and visited MIT and we had an interaction and मैंने कहा कि प्रोफेसर आपको इंडिया लाना है, बच्चों से मिलवाना है, इसलिए आप हो.
बहुत खुशी आ गई.
मैं बहुत चीज़ें पढ़ते हैं, अलग अलग तरह के राय आते हैं. Sort of like एक दिन कोई कुछ बोल रहा है, दूसरे दिन बिल्कुल उसके विपरीत भी रिसर्च आ गई. तो एक तो ये चीज़ है कि as Minister for Education, I am concerned that this is a Pandora's box in some measure which is opened. We cannot control it.
Right.
Students are already using this. What is the impact of this tool and this technology on the way students look at taking a deep dive into any issue? तो बच्चा कहेगा देखो जब मैं चाहूँगा सर्च कर लूँगा, मुझे मिल जाएगा, काहे को मैं पढ़ूँ, रट्टा तो मारना ही नहीं है, which is very good. हम नहीं चाहते आप रट्टा मारो. And this is from school upwards, may not apply to you. because you are anyways, you know what issue you want to subject, you're doing a deeper dive. But what impact will this have on a student's capacity to engage with any topic? What impact will then accordingly it will have on the kind of quality of research that comes out? Second, intellectual property. Because the moment you get a patent, you know that some LM, some model somewhere is reverse engineering it, and in a way you're competing with the technology. You're not just competing with other people who are seeking that patent, and anyone can know how to break your patent. So does that mean you stop filing patents and you keep your idea to yourself? I mean, what impact this is going to have on the human aspiration and human capability to innovate?
First of all, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me. As much as I like Bharat Mandapam, it's good to be in the nature and have a relaxed conversation with all of you. So thank you for being here. Let's talk about the upside and the downside of AI, right? So a lot of us are, how many people here are excited about AI? And how many are really worried? Not many. How about both? Worried and excited, right? Most of us are.
मैंने दोनों तरफ हाथ खड़े कर दिए.
Exactly, yeah, we're both, right? I think the challenge is coming because, आपने बोला ना, like, how can everybody be a creator, innovator? But today, we are, I would call, in the factory mode of AI. There's some companies build it, and we just consume it. But from the factory mode of AI, we're going to switch to a bazaar mode of AI. In the bazaar mode, every one of us can create our own AI, represent us, and not just be consumers, but also creators. And that shift is happening very quickly, right? And the reason for that is, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you would need, a few $1 billion, all the energy, build nuclear power plants for it, give people $100 million salaries and so on to build these very large models. But very quickly, and we should thank the Chinese as well for this, we have open source models coming out, and there are companies like Sarvam, Magnani, and Avatar and so on right here doing very good work. And very quickly, we'll have models that are basically free. They'll cost almost nothing. The cost of creating AI on a daily basis will be less than 1 cup of chai, daily basis. And you'll create your own AI. It'll run on your own phone or your own laptop, and you'll be creators. You'll be creating your own. There'll be, Mr. Chaudhary, minister's AI. There'll be Ramesh, AI agent. Everybody will have their own AI agent, and we'll have a bazaar. Every teacher will have their own AI agent. Every, diabetic expert will have an AI agent, and so on. And we are here very quickly. So when it comes to education, it creates a whole new world. Because right now when you use ChatGPT, a lot of teachers like professors like me are worried, are you cheating, right? But when it's the other way around, you have an AI agent who's with you. And you pick up a concept like, I want to learn about, Mr. Sharan Singh. Just give me one day from morning to evening, a great experience. I just put my headphones. When I wake up, my agent starts telling me, I interact back and forth. By the end of the day or next day, I'm an expert in that topic, right? So I think and then you can launch your own AI agent. Just like you launch your own YouTube channel, you launch your AI agent that can do things for others. So I think we're going to see that very quickly. So when we move from the factory model of AI to the bazaar model of AI, or AI agent. And so what we're doing, as you know, Minister, is with India AI Mission, we're creating something called Doot. So everyone knows here about Aadhaar and UPI, which is a DPI model. So Doot is AI agent for 1.4 billion people in India. AI agent for everybody. And so I know we have been talking about this, you and I, for a long time. So now is the moment for India to really shine.
Thank you. Yeah, but for me, if I want to retain something, I have to read it in paper,
right,
and I have to write it down for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, as students, as your practice as students, is it that the same or has that changed? मतलब किताब ही पढ़नी पड़ती है, वरना I can listen to it. I'm not sure how much of that I'm actually able to retain. So I'm concerned about what you said is correctly. I mean, it's there that you'll have the augmented student.
Yes.
We may not be open to it, but at some point, every exam is going to become open book.
Right.
And this is what I like.
Yeah.
Today is the first 10th board exam. I am Minister for School. In my first presentation, the Education Ministry showed me that इतना percentage हमारा pass percentage और इतना हमारा जो लगातार जो अपने CBSE board में बढ़ता जा रहा है. So I said I don't want to know that. As a society, we are so focused on that one exam.
Right.
We are celebrating the CBSE topper, board topper. We're not thinking about the 99.9% students who've not got the 99.9%.
Yes,
And that doesn't mean anything. That is an unfair assessment of their true potential. And so therefore, we have to come up with fair ways of assessing standards, quality, so that for the outside, the academic world, for employers, they know कि ये बच्चे में क्या capacity है, without putting a label on it. It's difficult to do in India. Like we said, we are all focused on exams. And अभी आज मेरी बच्ची भी इम्तिहान देने जा रही थी. She was nervous. Maths का exam, she's not very good at maths. So, but we are as parents also, we also try. Does AI with a digital backbone of academic bank of credit, you are able to do more holistic assessment, year-round assessment. With every exam is an open book exam. You now as a teacher can know कि बच्चे को conceptually समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. Forget the memorization aspect of it. Retain कितना हुआ वो बात नहीं है. बात ये है कि tool use करके क्या बच्चा मुझे समझा सकता है concept कि नहीं. बात यही हो गई अब teachers के लिए. तो फिर then why do we need the UPSC exam? Why do we need the board exam? Can we see a day very soon where we stop the end of academic calendar exam and do a more continuous assessment based on AI? Is that a practical reality that India can get used to at some point?
I think it's a very brilliant idea. I think it's beautiful to hear that from you. Coming from, Education Skills Minister, that's a very bold move. I think it's totally possible. There are two sides to it, right? If I look at the teachers, a lot of their time is spent on things that are not about teaching, right? And it should be possible to get rid of all their administrative work.
Buttermilk for you, charge.
You can get rid of the butter.
More like mattha actually, I think.
You can get rid of all the administrative work they have to do so they can focus on teaching. That's one thing for sure. But now, as you said, on the student side, an augmented student, you said it very beautifully. An augmented students would be good. So they did a study. It's worth thinking about. So you might know about Coursera and Udacity and so on, all these MOOCs.
COVID के time सबने किया है.
Exactly. So they did a test where they said, you do this was for software jobs, and they said we'll teach you a certification course for 3 months, and at the end of 3 months we'll do an exam, and when somebody is recruiting you, we will give you the score and you can do your own interview. Let's say you're applying for Infosys. Infosys do an interview, and you can decide whether to take this candidate or not, or we'll give you statistics of how the student did over the 3 months continuously, and will not tell you whether this student was eventually accepted or not. They did like a blind study basically. And what they realized is that continuous assessment over the 3 months was better predictor
Okay.
there of the outcome than the one interview they did at Infosys.
Okay.
So going back to your point about continuous assessment is so much better. Now, will that mean we get rid of all the board exams? I don't know about that.
I hope it doesn't mean continuous stress.
You talked about open book. So, as you know, when I was in school, maybe same for you, we didn't even have calculators were not allowed, right? And now, of course, calculators are allowed. So when I teach my course at MIT in Boston, I started with open book about 15 years ago, but now I have open internet. You can access internet live during the exam. But we make it tricky, actually. I'll tell you the trick I do. So the exam will be about 1 hour, but there are so many questions that if you start searching over the internet, you'll actually end up wasting time. So we reduce the stress. It's open book, open internet, but in reality, unless you have studied well, you cannot do it. But also it means that as professors, as teachers, we cannot create exams for which the answer already exists on the internet.
Okay.
We have to be very clever about creating problems for which there is no solution on ChatGPT.
That's quite a task for teachers.
It's a lot of work.
On the other side, you also see research, like I said, कि दोनों पहलू हैं. Stanford ने अभी कोई पेपर लिखा है कि there's a limitation to the reasoning capacity of all LMs. After a point, they've divided the reasoning into two different layers. I won't get into technicalities, not that I understood everything, but I basically read the abstract. So I don't know if you've read that paper. I mean, are we overestimating the capacity for AI to do a lot of these tasks, so that we are just assuming that we will completely rely on AI? For instance, coding.
Yeah.
The entire IT industry, 1.5 million engineering graduates every year. मतलब 15 लाख engineering graduate, और हम अभी भी कोडिंग सिखा रहे हैं. तो एक तो हमें कोडिंग अपने सॉफ्टवेयर लैंग्वेजेस सिखाने की कोई ज़रूरत है कि नहीं, पूरा शिफ्ट क्या वाइब कोडिंग पे होगा कि नहीं, सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनीज क्या करेंगी, जो हमारे सॉफ्टवेयर एज सर्विस कंपनी है SaaS, will they become from software as service, they'll have to shift to service as software.
Yes.
So instead of off site कि इंडिया में सारे बैठे हैं दुनिया को सर्विस दे रहे हैं, they'll have to go on site, figure out what AI tool works for every enterprise and do customization and contextualization. So will AI really be able to do a lot of these human tasks and higher level intelligence tasks? White collar job खत्म होने वाले हैं क्या? बहुत सारे सवाल हैं, बट दोनों चीज़ें सुनने को मिलती हैं. तो एज अ पॉलिसी मेकर, एज अ एजुकेशनलिस्ट, एज अ स्टूडेंट, 2 or 3 different buckets I'll ask, what should we do? What is your ask from, especially from government of India?
Yeah. I mean, no, as its family famously said, for any new emerging technology, people overestimate its impact in the short run and underestimate in the long run. So yeah, we're not going to see that big a change in knowledge workers in 2 years, but what will happen in 10 years, it's going to be tremendous. Let's take an example of coding, right? So think about it. So the world GDP is about $100 trillion. Only about $5 trillion out of it is IT. Everything, hardware, technology, software, everything included is under $5 trillion. So the remaining $95 trillion is not IT. Okay, it's ports and water and sewage and food and hospitality and so on. Now the challenge is, like from MIT, when students graduate, they all go into this $5 trillion industry because it's very lucrative. They want to go work for Google and Facebook and all these companies because they have amazing profit margins. The remaining 95 trillion, nobody goes there because the profit margins are so small, it's not worth the time. But imagine now in the future that even a canteen like this, the canteen owner can write their own software and improve their efficiency. And right now, maybe their profit margins are 10%, let's assume. If he improves his productivity, improves his efficiency, maybe he's at 20%, 30%. At some point, his profits are 50%. All the students will say, I'm going to come work for this canteen because it's so much more lucrative.
It'll make it aspirational.
It's very aspirational.
So white collar, blue collar, it'll just merge into one.
It'll merge everything because every percent
that is music to my ears.
Yeah, every percent in productivity gain in the real world, not just in financial sector, tech sector, is going to dramatically change it. So all the knowledge workers will say, I'm going to be behind that counter. I'm going to go open a barber shop. I'm going to start working in the water industry. I'm going to do rural health because rural health has 90% profit margins. And so on. So you're going to see a complete change in this $95 trillion industry. And that's why I'm not a big believer in saying, like coding jobs are going away and knowledge industry is going away. They will go away in the way we know it today. But if people are smart, and these people are, you'll start thinking about how do I use IT, how do I use emerging technology for sectors that nobody else is talking about.
We've been told कि technology आती है तो life easy हो जाती है.
Right.
ये अब ये phone, mobile phone ले लो, it'll make life easier. None of them have actually made life easier.
No way.
You're not working any less. We're only working harder. When technology was supposed to make us work less.
That's right.
What you are telling me is every job we'll become more productive, so you will all have to work harder.
Even more.
What I'm asking you is, what is the coolest thing you have seen? And I know you showed me आपने वो म्यूजिक का इंस्ट्रूमेंट बनवाया वहाँ MIT लैब में,
That's right.
जो अपने वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं, क्या नाम उनका आर्टिस्ट का सबसे
Todd Marquardt.
नो इंडियन हमारे
A.R. Rahman.
AR रहमान जी,
Yes.
वहाँ उन्होंने वही कोर्स किया है
Yeah,
उसी लैब।
A.R. Rahman took my course at MIT.
आप गाना भी बहुत अच्छा गाते हो वैसे, बात नहीं गाते तो व्हाट इज द कूलेस्ट प्रोडक्ट यू हैव सीन? कुड बी AI, कुड बी नॉन AI, जिसका भी लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि ये दुनिया हिलने वाली है।
Yeah. I mean, at MIT, my colleagues are doing some really good work. And, one of my colleagues, Raskar, they can detect seizure. Some children, some grown-up people, unfortunately, have seizures. And the problem is you cannot detect it, and that's dangerous. So she invented a mechanism where you wear a watch on both arms and look at the skin conductance. And the asymmetry in the two signals can give like a 5 to 10 minute warning that somebody is going to have a seizure.
Okay.
Just think about an amazing AI that can solve problems like
all
that.
the devices that we'll be wearing in next 20 years that
Yeah.
could be built into anything.
I think we'll eliminate all preventable death, pretty much. We'll have amazing education for children because, we're going to get care.
As long as I'm minister, yes.
That is true. That is true. We're going to get care without building hospitals.
यहाँ कोई हंसता नहीं है क्या जोक पे?
Because they're all laughing to his jokes. And we're going to get education without building more schools. We're going to transact without building more banks. So this is a very interesting decentralization that's going on. And like you said, the continuous assessment, continuous measurement, continuous encouragement, as opposed to continuous assessment, is the role of the game. So I think we're going to come back in 5-10 years from now and say, here you stated that the board exams are overrated. This is something you can remember.
Yeah, I say it all the time though. धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत. Let's open it up. Anything, yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm Apurva Beniwal. I'm doing PhD here from Center for International Relations. My question is how to deal with the biasness already present in ChatGPT and AI models. Like suppose, for example, I searched about it's ChatGPT's view on North Korean nuclear issue. So it gave a very negative interpretation. Then I read some of the articles which actually debated in favor of North Korea. Then it gave me a somewhat balanced kind of it do work on the data which we feed them, but sometimes it is much biased. How to deal with it? And the second question is AI enhancing our critical thinking or it is impacting it negatively? Thank you.
Let's take 2-3 more questions and then collectively then we'll see कैसे answer.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन कुछ एक रिलेटेड यूनिवर्सिटीज़ से है कि कुछ एक सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में लोग अवेयर है AI से और स्किल डेवलपमेंट कोर्सेज से, लेकिन स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर अभी स्किल डेवलपमेंट कोर्सेज अभी इंट्रोड्यूस हुए हैं और वहाँ के टीचर्स का AI बेस्ड जो कोर्सेज है उन पे बहुत ही पैसिव रवैया है, उनको ज़्यादातर इन चीज़ों के बारे में नहीं पता है. तो प्रोफेसर्स की ट्रेनिंग का भी कुछ मॉडल चल रहा है क्या साथ में?
I am a PhD student in philosophy here, and my question is regarding the negative impact of the artificial intelligence, especially as a philosophy student. Our job is to think intensely and deep dive in thought, and at the same time be intensely logical as well. But the same job is being done by AI, and if we use AI, then our thinking abilities will not be enhanced, and if we don't use it, then every other field is using it except philosophy. So how do we deal with it? How do we balance this?
Hello sir, I'm Sakshi and I'm doing my master's in Korean studies, and I'm focusing on linguistics. So basically we have now many AI companies, and I had this question that what are your thoughts on AI bubble? Because many experts have coined this term, and it's in the market now. And also regarding that, the companies are hiring linguists and also professionals from other fields to train the AI models so that they can do our job in a better way. Like we see the models use the ChatGPT, the first model, and how it has immensely improved now. And they know the ethics and to a certain extent, obviously. But they are using the human capacities to build the AI so that they can outperform us. So what do you think that what are your thoughts on this?
So I know a lot of everybody's thinking about the downsides, job losses, lack of information or misinformation or bias and so on. I think it's reasonable to worry about it, but I really want you to start thinking beyond, because a lot of these problems will get fixed on their own. You should be talking about it, but not worrying about it, because it's almost like talking about the weather. Abhi kal to barish hogi and this and that. It doesn't really matter because there's not much you can do about it. But what you can start thinking about it, what to do beyond it. And so, like if you think about philosophy of AI agents, so we're talking about Doot, which will be a national, 1.5 billion AI agents, one for every citizen. What's going to happen from it? So now, let's say my agent is not good at minister's agent. I'll say, why is that not good? I'm going to send my agent to JNU and get taught better. So JNU needs to start a JNU University for agents, because I'm going to send my agent to JNU, right? And so on. So there'll be new schools that will emerge. But at some point I will say, oh, but my agent doesn't have good values. It doesn't learn, how to do the right things. So there has to be a value addition. So I might send it to a new temple or a new church or whatever, right? So there has been agent church and agent temples and things like that. At some point, my agents really start misbehaving or taking wrong actions. So I need to buy an insurance for my agent, for example. I might need a new HR department because I want to make sure they are behaving properly and so on. So as you can imagine, a lot of stuff is going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years. And those of you who are doing PhD in philosophy and master's in philosophy, we want you to start thinking about the Asian philosophy, right? And what's going to happen there. Because you probably heard in the last few weeks that Asians are starting their own religion, they're starting their own language, and so on. So there's a whole world coming ahead of us. And how do we deal with today's problems will be absolutely true. We can talk about that separately. But I really want you to start thinking about like 5 to 10 years ahead. Because if you think about it now, it's possible that a big tech company won't just come and sell you a product, but you'll have your own thoughts. Just imagine how much work there is to do when 1.5 billion agents have to go to a university. And so on. So which university is thinking about that? So I know your department is already thinking about creating universities for agents.
Yeah, we'll make you the BC for that one. It's a fantastical picture that you have weaved, and we are now slowly understanding its reality that we're moving towards very fast. I get the fear coming out of it. I appreciate it. But reinvention is the only thing that makes us human beings, keeps us alive, keeps us ticking. You didn't necessarily do a course thinking कि मुझे नौकरी के लिए कोर्स चाहिए. बहुत से बच्चे करते हैं ऐसे ही कि मुझे इंटरेस्ट है, मैंने कर लिया, या बिना सोचे समझे भी कोर्स के लिए इनरोल कर लेते हैं. Think about the kind of startup entrepreneurs who dropped out of school. For a normal child, it would have been the end of the world. अब क्या करेंगे, हम तो लायक ही नहीं हैं. But they've reinvented themselves. All the best leaders across different spectrums, they have had to face a lot of adversity. So don't worry about it. This is just a tool. It will always be something that will aid you in your journey. That's how I look at it. Thank you, Professor. Thank you to all the students who came in. We now need to get back.
And we have a treat for you. We have a treat for you.
वो यूनिवर्सिटी वाला सवाल बहुत अच्छा सवाल था. ऐसा नहीं है. एक्चुअली पुल और पुश फैक्टर होना चाहिए. इंसेंटिव स्ट्रक्चर टीचरों के लिए हम इस देश में शायद वो नहीं बना पाए हैं कि वो रीइन्वेंट करें अपने आप को, लेकिन बहुत से अच्छे टीचर्स होते हैं जो पैशनेट होते हैं, जो कनेक्टेड होते हैं अपने बच्चों के साथ. तो आवर अप्रोच इज यू हिट द ऑडियंस विच इज ready for it and that wants it. Let them adapt to it the first, which is the student base is already using. Teachers will look at it and also the incentive structure for them to learn will also go up. But there's a lot of good practices that are happening. Google and Chaudhary Charan Singh Vishwavidyalaya Meerut have done a MOU. They've made it the first state university which is AI enabled. So this is starting out. I think a lot of reform will happen in universities. You have a gift for...
Yeah. So when Mr. was visiting back in August, we created an AI agent for you, if you remember.
Yeah.
And this was very early days.
I haven't been able to roll it out क्योंकि लगता है कि controversy हो जाएगी.
But now we're making it open to public.
अच्छा, okay.
So every one of you can create your own AI agent, and your agents can talk to each other, by the way. while you're sleeping or you're doing something else. They can even go make money, you know, they can write music and so on. So it's just a fun experiment. So I encourage all of you to go to join39.org, JOIN39.org. Ruba, we can send an email to everybody. Yeah, join39.org. Create your own AI agents. We just did a partnership with Gen AI. They're doing very good work. And they're working with rural youth as well. And they're also launching 50,000 agents for rural youth. But I'm sure JNU is at the forefront of everything. So everybody should create their own AI agent. It's just an experiment, try it out. And then you can take that and build something else. You can create, every student at JNU could have their own AI agent for their course selection, what's the menu for today at the canteen, whatever it is, bus schedule and so on. So I would love to see JNU being the first campus in the country where every student has their own AI agent, right?
Thank you, great. I just wanted to give a gift on Paul Brass has written 3 volumes, An Indian Political Life.
Beautiful.
It is a great resource if you want to learn about Chaudhary Sahib. I want to gift it to Professor, and also I want to inform everyone that Kisan Trust has launched Charan Singh Fellowship this year. So 2 young researchers, post-PhD scholars, we want to engage them. We'll give them the economic support that is expected. And at the end of the 1 year, we'll want that they should come up with some writings and musings on Chaudhary Sahib's work. And of course, someone who's interested in economics, in politics, in social sciences, in legal studies, all of those are subjects where Chaudhary Sahib has already done a lot. And Kisan Trust will facilitate the entire 1-year program. So I invite all of you, you can go to Kisan Trust website and enroll and apply for that. Thank you.
Thank you.